Leader of the Liberal Democratic Party of Russia, Vladimir Zhirinovsky, has called for Moscow to carry out retaliatory strikes against the U.S. in response to the Trump administration's airstrike on Syria. The Russians have said that they intend, if there's any more strikes, to shoot back. Putin's war threats to West warns Trump. Thin red line, Russia and Iran pledged to hit back against further Syria strikes as they blast U.S. for crossing red lines. And that's out of The Sun. And people say, oh, The Sun's a tabloid. Yeah, our major newspapers won't even run with this because they don't even want you to know. These are official statements out of the Duma, official statements by Putin, official statements by Medvedev, official statements by all of them. We're going to go over all those quotes. Russian politician calls for retaliatory strikes against U.S. State Duma member, wants to send a message to Trump. That's the leader of the Democratic Party of Russia, Vladimir Zhirinovsky, has called for Moscow to carry out retaliatory strikes against the U.S. in response to Trump's administration's airstrike on Syria. So I'm saying, well, this guy always is a hothead. Well, he's probably the second most powerful person in Russia. And actually, he's only quoting what Putin said word for word. Things are escalating very, very quickly. That's up on Infowars.com.
All of them are aggressors, and Syria has every right to protect itself and perform retaliatory strikes to protect itself. We have exited the memorandum about confrontations of our fighter planes over Syrian territory. Now we should cover the whole Syrian territory with our S-300s and S-400 systems, send a part of our Black Sea Fleet there, and Northern Fleet, and continue to help strike against ISIS and other anti-governmental locations. From any airfields, from theirs and from our airfields, by our pilots and our planes, plus by military naval forces. I personally would order our strategic missile forces partial high combat readiness. In southern regions, we should declare partial mobilization and make tough conditions that any armed forces that are illegally operating on Syrian territory are going to receive severe retaliatory strikes. If they continue aggressive actions against official Syria, official forces of Damascus, of Bashar al-Assad, so they would know that they will not be allowed to destroy Syrian armed forces like this with impunity. In this case, Syrian aviation and personnel. A few dozen planes were destroyed, officers died, and servicemen. So then, this is the continuation. Americans are envious of our success, and they have only defeats since 1945. They lost in Korea, lost in Vietnam, in Afghanistan, everywhere. And now, with the new president, maybe he was misinformed, misled, and so he gave his consent to strike on military airfield in the city of Homs. This is his mistake. It's USA's mistake. And we should send back our airspace forces, our military naval forces. And this confrontation is going to last for a long time because this is the Middle East. It's oil and gas, collision of various nations, various religions. And this is a battleground between USA and Russia.